What is up, viewer out there watching this video? Like a Rock's back here, bringing you this time the first episode of my Be a GM franchise mode here in NHL 18. It's been a while, guys. The last time I made a Be a GM mode in an NHL game was the Vancouver Canucks with last year's game, and a lot of people really got pissed off with how I started playing some of the periods, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be starting up a legitimate Be a GM franchise mode in NHL 18 with the San Antonio Renegades. Now, the Renegades, these guys are entering the league as the 32nd team. This is the expansion draft. We don't have guys like Jack Fearless, Neldrin Hilbert, Clockwork Austin. We don't have these guys. Instead, what we have is a brand new franchise stepping into the league. We're playing at the AT&T Center in San Antonio, and it looks like it's going to be a struggle to start things off, because we're coming into the expansion draft, and we have to take basically all the B, C+ players from all these teams, and we have to take one from each team, and that's how we're going to be starting our season. So the Renegades, we're playing in the Central Division, which means that there is an even amount of teams in the Western Conference as well as the Eastern Conference, 16 and 16, if I can count correctly, which I believe I can. So it looks like the league is all balanced up now, and the San Antonio Renegades come in to the NHL as the 32nd team. Now, before we start things off, I'd like to disable owner mode. I don't like owner mode for some reason. I don't like the fact that you can control the parking and everything. It doesn't really work for me, so I'm turning that off. Salary cap is on. Everything else, I'm going to leave this as it is, but the only other thing that I'm going to be changing before we get things underway here is the injuries, because I'm going to turn injuries off. Injuries are going to be off. Franchise mode, I'm going to make it 10 years. And trade difficulty, let's set it to hard, which means that if we want to get players, we can't just give them our rejects and then they'll accept it. These have to be legitimate NHL trades that could go through. So, getting things started underway here, the San Antonio Renegades are entering the NHL, and we're going back in time, folks. We're going back in time, back to the end of the 16-17 season, which means that the Pittsburgh Penguins, they just beat the Predators to win the cup, and the Golden Knights, they already had their expansion draft, which means that the Renegades here, we're coming into the league, and we have to take guys from each team. So, I'm excited. It's been a while since I've started a GM mode up on YouTube. This is the second one I'm doing on YouTube. If you want to count the season modes that I've done as GM modes, you can. I mean, this makes this GM mode with San Antonio about like the 5th or 6th one. But I've done a lot of season modes in the past. I've only done one GM mode, and that was with the Canucks. And people got pissed off about that. I've already said that. And we're starting another one here today with the Renegades, taking the two things that I love to do. The two things are the Renegades, which I love the Renegades. I absolutely love the Renegades. They're not real, but they are real in my heart, and GM mode, because I've been playing a lot of GM mode recently, and I've gotten a lot of suggestions from people in the comments section in real life saying, yo, you should make a GM mode. It would be so entertaining, and I was like, maybe. So instead of making a Canucks GM mode, we start things off here with the San Antonio Renegades. I'd figured I'd take a moment to welcome you to the San Antonio Renegades franchise. You have your plate full with the upcoming expansion draft, but I'll touch base again in a few days before the draft itself after I get a sense of who the other teams are going to make available. Okay, so we got ourselves the expansion draft. San Antonio, we get the first pick. We get the first pick of the NHL draft lottery, yes, and Vancouver is second. Okay, so Vancouver is no longer going to take Elias Pettersson. They're probably going to take Nolan Patrick. So that means automatically the Renegades, we're going to start off the season with Nico Hischier. We're getting the first overall pick. He's going to be ours. Yes, thank you, draft gods. Thank you, lottery. But before we go over with Hischier, we gotta set ourselves a goal, because we got the expansion draft right now, which is where we build the team. And we got 30 selections to make, because Vegas, they're not eligible for the expansion draft, because, you know, they just had theirs. We gotta take players from each team, and so far, you know, I don't really, I don't know who to take. A lot of these players, they're just the players that these teams would be okay with losing. But there are a few things that we actually have to think about when we go along with this. So, first thing we have to think about is skill. I mean, of course, we have to take good players, and we have to take players who could play at the NHL level. But another thing that we have to take a look at is the salary cap. Because we're going to be getting Hischier. We get the first overall pick this year, and he's probably going to be our first line center automatically. So our salary cap needs to be up to the $75 million mark, which means we can't just keep on taking rookies, and we can't just keep on taking young guys who are on their entry-level deals. We need to take guys who belong in the NHL in terms of monetary value. So going through the teams right now, I think I have a good idea of who we could take. I mean, Jonas Brodin automatically as a low elite. I don't see anybody else on the Wild who I'd rather have, so you know what? First pick, we're going to choose Jonas Brodin. So, yeah, I mean, that was quick. Brodin is an 83 overall elite low defenseman. He's 22 or 23 or whatever, I didn't see. But he's our first pick. He's going to be our ace on the blue line in terms of young studs. We also got Alec Martinez, who looks like he's going to be really good. I don't want to just focus on building our defensive core right off the bat, but if Martinez is the best player available at a good deal, $4 million, 5 years, 84 overall, we're going to take him as well. So right off the bat, that was just 2 impulse picks that I did. That's probably not a good thing, but it's probably something that would help us in the future as our defensive core looks like it could be pretty good. And there are a lot of good defensemen that are eligible to be taken here in this expansion draft. There's Markov. Well, he's not really an NHL defenseman anymore. Hickey, DeHaan. I like DeHaan. I would be okay with getting DeHaan. Grabner. Okay, so Grabner is a player who, I mean, Michael Grabner is good in terms of his skating ability, but everything else he's kind of eh. So, I mean, it's either we get Grabner or Holden from the Rangers, unless they have a goalie that we would be able to take, which nope, they don't. So we gotta fill our roster with NHL players. Grabner is a guy that I'd like to take instead of the other guys. So we got 3 picks down, 2 defensemen and 1 forward. We might need to be going through more of these players because there are a lot of good defensemen that are available. Like the Jets, they got Tyler Myers right here. Carl Alsner is eligible. Shattenkirk is as well. Wow, Shattenkirk's only an 83 in this game? Okay. We're going to take Alsner or Shattenkirk. Canucks, we got Skilly, Dorsett, Gauntz. Reed Boucher is a player that might be okay. Anton Rodin, I think he should have been given a shot in the NHL. You know what? I mean, Boucher is probably the best player, but I kind of want Rodin just as a soft spot in my heart because I want to give him an NHL chance. Oh boy, but the best player available in this situation is Reed Boucher, so we'll have to go with Boucher. Crap, we could have taken a goalie from Vancouver. Darn. Alright, so Toronto, Hunwick is available. Connor Brown is available too. I like Connor Brown a lot, but unless they have a goalie, Okay, Garrett Sparks, what's he listed as? He's listed as a minor starting goalie, so automatically, I like Connor Brown a lot. We're filling up our forward core a little bit, so we're going to go with Connor Brown. Now, our defense has the potential to be very good, and if we're getting the guys that we have the option to get, like Vatanen, and then Shattenkirk and Alsner, or any one of the other guys who we'd be able to take, we would have a good defensive core. And right now, it looks like we're just going through, seeing who the best player available is, and just trying to build a good team. I'm going to go with Vatanen from the Ducks. I mean, Manson probably has better value long-term, but Vatanen is a better player now, and we need good players now. So, the Coyotes, they don't really have anybody that I'd be interested in it other than Burmistrov, who, I mean, Burmistrov is actually trash in real life, but we got other players available. Luke Shen is a good option, but just because there are so many other defensemen that are available, I'd go with the first guy here, Jamie McGinn. Alright, so we're filling out our team a little bit. Adam McQuaid is available. Schaller is available. I want to see who else we could get from the Bruins. Maybe we could get a goalie, because I don't really like the options that we're getting now. Ooh, we can get Malcolm Subban. He's listed as a backup. You know what? Subban is going to us. We're taking Malcolm Subban. He is the first goaltender selected for the San Antonio Renegades. The Buffalo Sabres, they have Zach Bogosian available. And in terms of goalies, they have Anders Nielsen. Hey, I love Anders Nielsen, but he's listed as a backup. We already have a backup. Okay, so we might have to take a skater. And I don't really think that there are any guys here that would be beneficial to us other than Zach Bogosian. But if we take Bogosian, man, we've already filled up our top 4. And I still want to take a defenseman from Washington. So Stone, Brouwer, Versteeg, we might need to stray away from taking defensemen now. You know, Shason, Furland, because we are the San Antonio Renegades, and because we are a team that will play dirty at times, and we will play rough and tough hockey, a guy like Michael Furland belongs on this team. I'm not even kidding. I hate Furland. I'm a Canucks fan, but I can't deny he's valuable, and he's valuable to any team that wants to compete. Let's looking at Carolina. Let's see if they have any goalies. They have Cam Ward. Cam Ward is listed as a backup goalie in this game, so we already have a backup. I don't want to take Cam Ward. We can take any one of these other guys, not Stepniak. He's already old. You know what? We might just need to take either Nestriedel or Nordstrom. I'm going to go with Nordstrom just because he has the higher potential as well as the lower age, so he's got a little bit higher of a chance to grow into something special. Campbell, no, we're not taking. Let's see if they have any goalies, because we need goalies. Nope. Anton Forsberg, nope. Is that his name? I'm not sure. We might just have to take somebody who has good potential here. And the best potential player seems to be Polka. So we'll go ahead and take Polka. Maybe he can play in the A. Colorado's up next. Let's see. Goalies. Nope, we're not going to take any of them. Joe Canada's on the Avalanche. What the hell? Alright, so Weirkoch, I mean, he's playing alright, I guess. Matt Nieto looks like he's going to become a good player in this game as well. And just because of the age difference here, I'm going to go with Nieto. And so what we're doing here is we're filling up the roster while maintaining a good salary cap, because we're going to take some defensemen who are pretty good. And okay, you know what? Unless Columbus has a goalie, I'm going to hold off on them for now. Oh my goodness. Jonas Korpisalo is exposed. Okay. We already have Malcolm Subban. But I would really like to have Korpisalo because he is an elite goaltender as well. Oh my goodness. I was thinking about taking Johnson, but then checking their goaltending. Oh my goodness. All right. So it doesn't look like we're going to need any more goaltenders, but of course, if there's a goaltender at 84 plus, we'll take him just so we can trade somebody else later. But other than that, from the Dallas Stars here, I think we're just going to have to go with a guy who will be good. And I don't want to take a defenseman. I would be okay with a forward, but I don't want somebody too old. So I think somebody like Anton Roussel might be the best option. I mean, he's $2 million, so he fills up the cap a little bit. Moving over to Detroit here, Abdelkader's available. He's 81 overall. 30 years old, though, so that's not bad. I mean, fine. It'll be Abdelkader or Ule, but Ule is a defenseman, and I want to fill up our defensive core with guys who are already established. Edmonton, they've got some good players. I mean, I would be interested in Pitlick. Pitlick looks good. If Kyra's here too, yeah, no, I'd be interested in Kyra as well. Goaltenders doesn't look like they have anybody. I want Kyra. He's 22, he's 71 overall, he's got bottom 6 high, so he's probably going to be an NHLer, and this guy is from Surrey, so why not? Let's take Kyra. Florida Panthers are up next, and we got ourselves Jason Demers. And this is what I was talking about. We got some good defensemen who look like they will be good defensemen for quite some time. But at the same time, Jussi Jokinen is really good. Not in this game, though. He's a 79 overall. He plays really well in real life. So from this team, it's either going to be Demers or Petrovic. And, I mean, Petrovic looks like he might be a better option down the line because he is 25 years of age. He's still got room to grow. But at the same time, Jason Demers, he looks good, too. You know what? I'm gonna hold back on the Panthers. We already did the Kings and the Wild. Let's go over to Montreal. See what we have in Montreal. Andre Markov. Okay, no, he's 38. We're not taking him. Dano, we could take Dano. I like Dano's statistics right now. Nestorov looks like he'll grow a little bit, but we got De La Rose too. I don't like his overall though, so I think overall, just from the Montreal Canadiens, we're gonna go with Dano because he's 80 overall, and we could potentially grow him into a good forward. The Islanders are up next. Seidenberg is over here. Hickey's over here. I already talked about DeHaan. I would like one of these guys. But Ryan Pulock, too. I like Ryan Pulock. And if we're capable of playing Pulock down in the AHL, I'd be good with him. Because we need some young guys who will step into that really good role by the time the Renegades are in their 4th, 5th, or 6th season. So I'm going to go with Pulock. Nashville is up next. Just looking at, oh my goodness, Ekholm is available. Yo, oh my goodness. We could really be robbing the Predators of a good defenseman here. I'm taking Matthias Ekholm. That's an impulse grab right there. Matthias Ekholm is really good, and he deserves a top line spot on the Renegades. So, we're going to stray away from defensemen. We're going to go with forwards for now, because, Smith Pelly. Smith Pelly is good. In terms of everybody else, we could go with another defenseman, but then I think we'd have an influx of them. So, you know what? Let's just go with Smith Pelly because he's 25. He's got room to grow. And this team, man, we're building up a young team. We're building up a young team. Ottawa's next. Clark MacArthur's available. We have $30 million in cap space. We also have Alexander Burrows down here, but he's pretty old. So just from the stance of we need to fill up our cap space as well as we need veteran presence, we could take MacArthur. Dzingel looks really good too, though. But yeah, he's listed as a third liner. If MacArthur's a second, oh no, he's not a second. We're going to go with Dzingel. Okay. So that's just me building up a team right here. So far, it looks like we're building up a team that's young, but still has a lot of good defense, because we got a lot of available defensemen that look like they could be stars. And Lawton is over here. 4th line forward, 23 years of age, 77 overall, so I like that. I like that a lot. And it looks like that he is the best young guy out of the Flyers that is available right here. Just checking, they don't have a goalie. They have Neuwirth, but we already have 2 goalies who I think would be good. We're going to take Lawton here. So yeah, let's take Lawton. All right, Florida, we could go with Demers. I want Demers, but we have 7 out of 9 defenders already. Pulock probably won't be in the NHL, so we could just go with whoever. Dumoulin is also available too. You know what? This is another impulse. Let's take Dumoulin because he's 81 overall. He plays very, very well for the Penguins. And in terms of what we have left, it looks like we're definitely going to have an influx of defensemen on our team because Paul Martin is available, Dylan is available. He's the second best player available here from the Sharks. Sorting by potential, let's see what we have. It's Dylan. Yeah, so just for best player available purposes, we'll take Dylan. And we will continue with this. I think the plan now is to just build a team that has the best players available from each of these teams. So we're going to take anybody who is really good, and that includes Berglund. So we're taking Berglund. Our cap space is 24 million, and we have 1, 2, 4. We have 4 more picks left. So that means that we're basically good on the salary cap. We just need to find players to fill it up a little bit. So that includes guys like Jason Demers. Let's take Demers. From the Lightning, let's go check what they have. Coburn is here. Dotchin is here. Paquette is here. Slater Coco is here as well. But he's the same age as Dotchin, and Dotchin has a much higher overall. So we're going to go with Dotchin here. From Washington, I believe this might be the last pick. So, you know what? We're going to go with... It's Alsner or Shattenkirk, and one of these guys is going to request more money than the other by the time their contracts are up. So, overall, I have no idea. We could go with Shattenkirk because he has better offensive stats, but we could go with Alsner because he's better defensively. But you know what? we're gonna need a guy feeding it to Nico Hischier, so that's gonna be Kevin Shattenkirk. He might request a lot of money, but that's okay. And finally, we have a really good defenseman in Tyler Myers to pick from, but we have 12 out of 9 defensemen, and they're all NHL-worthy defensemen, so we're going to go with... Oh, my goodness. We must have a goalie next. Okay, I did not calculate that. Hey, that's not bad, because we got Hutchinson. Hutchinson is a backup goalie, but he's 81 overall. So that's really good. Okay, so we just picked our team. I'm very sorry if I did not pick the players that you guys wanted, but this is what our team looks like right now, and what we're going to do is we're going to simulate up to the draft, and we're not going to do the draft just yet, because I kind of want to get your guys' feedback on this team, because it's only the first episode, and I kind of want to see what you guys think. So we'll simulate up to the draft, and I'll look at the contracts. So yeah, I want you guys to be involved into this GM mode. So what we'll do is we'll go to the draft. Please go to the draft. Is it at the draft yet? No, it's not at the draft. Keep in mind, we already have our first overall pick. That's going to be Nico Hischier. That's for sure. Hischier is going first. And we are here at the entry draft. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the contracts, because I'm going to end this video here. This was just choosing the players for the Renegades at this time. We'll view the contracts right here, and I'll get your guys' feedback on what to do. Because if we look at the center core, we only have 2 centers. And, well, 3 if you include Kyra. In terms of left wingers, we got a few of these. Abdelkader, Grabnell, Furland, Roussel, and Nieto. In terms of in the system, we got Lawton, Boucher, and Nordstrom as well. So these guys might be able to play. We got no right wingers in the system, but 4 right wingers on the main roster: Smith, Pelly, McGinn, Brown, and Berglund. And in terms of defense, this is where things kind of get complicated, because in the system, we got ourselves Dotchin, Pulak, and Polka. These guys are all probably going to play in the AHL. They got chances to make the NHL sooner or later, but not really now. And we got this as our defensive core right now: Martinez, Brodin, Ekholm, Shattenkirk, Vatanen, Bogosian, Demers, Dillon, and Dumoulin. So, goaltenders also looks okay. We got Hutchinson and Korpisalo. Malcolm Subban could be an AHL goaltender for now, but I want to get your guys' feedback on what to do at the draft, because looking at our salary cap, we're barely meeting the cap. We have $19 million in cap space, and we have an influx of defensemen. We have too many NHL-ready defensemen. So what are you guys thinking? What do you guys want to happen with this team? Because I'm going to be doing this series, and I'm going to be wanting you guys to comment down what you want to happen, because I might take your guys' feedback into consideration into making the best team possible for this San Antonio Renegades team. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of the expansion draft. Comment down below what you want to happen, what you want to trade, what do you want to happen with our defensemen? Because we got so many of those. Our forward core is not really that strong, but it's all on defense for us. So what should we do about that? Twitter and Google Plus, your stylish troll, so I can ask Gaming, and bye.